Have you ever wondered how your streaming service just knows what movie you're in the mood for, or how a bank can approve a loan in like seconds? Well, a lot of the time it comes down to a tool that's surprisingly simple. Today we're pulling back the curtain on decision trees, and you're going to see that their logic is something you actually use every single day. So, let's dive in. Okay, to get started, let's just forget all about the complicated code and algorithms for a second. Instead, I want you to think about this whole thing as a simple game. A game of yes or no questions that, believe it or not, you're playing in your head all the time. Think about a question like this one. Should we play outside today? Seems pretty simple, right? But before you can even answer, your brain is already firing off a quick checklist of other questions. And the first question is probably this one. Is it raining? Right there, in that one moment, you've split all the possible futures into two paths. If the answer is yes, well, you're probably staying inside. If it's no, you've got more questions to ask. And just like that, without even trying, you've started building a decision tree. And this, right here, is the absolute core idea. That totally natural human way of thinking, asking a question, getting an answer, and then asking the next logical question, that is exactly how a decision tree operates. It just takes a big, complex choice and breaks it down into a series of small, easy-to-answer ones. So, we've seen the logic in action, we kind of get the feel for it. Now, let's put some official names on the different parts so we can see how it's actually structured in the world of data and tech. All right, here's the formal definition. A decision tree is basically a flowchart, but the real key phrase here is uses a series of questions to split data. Every question you ask carves a path, literally slicing up your data until you're left with just one single final answer. And this diagram lays out the anatomy perfectly. It all kicks off at the root node. That's your very first big question. Each split after that is a decision node, another question that pushes you down a specific path. And when you finally run out of questions to ask, you've hit a leaf node, which is your final answer, the end of the line. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's look at a full example now and really see how this thing is built. We're going to trace one single path from the very top all the way down to a final answer. So check this out. Here's the full decision map for our play outside problem. You can see right at the top, that's our root node. The first question, what's the weather? And from there, it branches out into sunny, cloudy, or raining. Now for the fun part. Let's give our tree a specific situation to solve. Imagine you look out the window, it is definitely sunny, and you'd say the temperature is about medium. So, what does our tree tell us to do? Let's follow the path. We start at the top. The weather is sunny, so we go down that branch. That leads us to our next question, temperature. We said the temperature is medium, so we follow that branch, and there it is, a leaf node. A final answer that gives us a clear, yes, we should go play outside. See, it's simple, it's logical, and you could do it 1,000 times. Okay, so we get how they work. But what are they actually for? Well, decision trees are real workhorses in the world of machine learning, and they basically have two main jobs. On one side, you have classification. You can think of this as a sorting hat. It asks, which bucket does this thing belong in? Is this email spam or not spam? The answer is always a label or a category. Then, on the other side, you have regression. This is all about predicting an actual number. How much will this house sell for? What's the temperature going to be tomorrow? The answer isn't a label, it's a specific value. Let's look at this classification tree right here. The first question it asks is the person's age less than 30? If the answer is yes, we follow that path down. Then it asks, do they eat a lot of pizza? If the answer is no, we follow that branch and bam. The tree classifies them as fit. It's just sorting people into boxes based on a couple of simple rules. And for regression, it's the same exact process, but you're chasing a number instead of a label. A regression tree for a house price might ask, is the house big? Or is the location good? And after following all the branches, instead of landing on a word like fit, you land on a specific number, like a price of $500,000. So you might be wondering, if these things are so simple, why are they so popular? I mean, there are way more complex algorithms out there. Well, it turns out that decision trees have one huge advantage. You could almost call it a superpower. And that superpower is transparency. A lot of advanced AI models are what we call a black box. Data goes in, an answer comes out, but you have no clue why. A decision tree is the complete opposite. It's a glass box. You can see every single step of its thinking. And that's so powerful because it looks just like how we think. And this transparency is absolutely critical in the real world. I mean, think about it. A doctor needs to know why a model is predicting a disease. A bank has to be able to explain why a loan application was denied. Decision trees give you that why right there in the open. There's no mystery. All right, let's wrap this all up and think about the big picture. Because this simple logic that we've just been exploring, it's working behind the scenes in way more places than you probably realize. So what's the big takeaway here? Decision trees are powerful because they're simple. At their core, they just ask a series of yes or no questions. They split data step by step to land on an answer. They can be used for sorting things into categories or for predicting specific numbers. And maybe most importantly, their key feature is that they're transparent. We can all understand how they got to an answer. And that really leaves us with one final thought. From the shows recommended to you online, to the credit offers you get in the mail, maybe even to medical diagnostics, this simple flowchart logic is constantly at play. So the next time you get a personalized result or recommendation, just ask yourself, could a simple decision tree be working behind the scenes? What hidden decisions are being made for you today?